Welcome to today's session. This is a quick core day. So again, kind of giving the rest of our muscles a little bit of a break. You're just gonna need one of these balls. If you don't have one of these balls, you can kind of have like prop a pillow behind your back at the one point today. Otherwise, we aren't using the ball like that much, maybe a quarter of the time. So you definitely don't have to have one today. But I would recommend getting one because it's one of my favorite props to use, especially for the core. There's just been studies that have shown like it can help activate so much more. So your core so much more. Okay, so let's get started. We don't need it for the first little bit. We're gonna start on our hands and knees, just doing some cat-cow. If hands and knees aren't great for you, you can do this standing up. So hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, knees a little bit wider than your hips, or hip distance apart. And we're just gonna start flowing here and connecting with our breath as always. Again, kind of breathe however you like to. If you want to exhale as you draw in. And I personally like to, inhale as I reach my sit bones behind me, dropping that belly button towards the mat, looking slightly forwards. And then exhaling as I tuck my tailbone, press the mat away, draw my belly button to spine. 2 more here. And then last one. You can start now. We're going to kind of stay in this position, kind of flowing side to side. You can keep doing regular cat-cows if you want, or you can kind of play with it, maybe move your hips side to side, really stretching out our side bodies. Again, it's kind of just a warm-up, so find what feels good for you. All right, now we're gonna add a rotation. So I'm gonna plant my right arm down. My left hand is gonna come onto my low back. And then you can stay here if this is good for you. You can just kind of open up your chest slightly to, I guess it'd be the left. If you want to add on, you can bring your, what am I doing? Yeah, your right leg out and then twisting. So sort of dropping that hip, really getting a rotation through your spine. Come back to center, opening, back to center and opening. Just rotating here. Little warm up for 2. And your core is working doing this. And last one. And we'll do the other side. So bring that knee back under your hips, hand back under your shoulder. Start with hand on your low back. And you can start just by opening here. And then again, if you do want to bring out that leg for more of a twist, you can do that. And just making sure you're not locking that elbow. Still breathing. For 1 more. And then coming back to center. So now we're going to come onto our backs. Still doing a little bit of warm up with our breath. So we're going to do our 360-degree breathing. Just have your ball in kind of like reaching distance. So bring it with you. Okay, so we're going to start with our 360-degree breathing. Just to, again, this actually does help to warm up our core, get those muscles turned on, start thinking about that mind-body connection. So hands can be wherever you like. If you want them by your side, some people like to do one on their belly, one on their chest. Some people like to do on their ribs to really feel that rib expansion. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, filling up our rib cage all the way around, front, back, and sides, and then exhaling it all out through pursed lips. Inhaling, exhaling it all out So again, if your hand's on your belly, feel your breathing, because we're not just doing belly breathing, but you are breathing down towards your belly. And then exhaling. Think of those back ribs pressing into the mat. And exhaling. One more here. So now we're going to do our hypopressives, also known as stomach vacuums. Again, this is like a warm-up, but it's also an exercise. It's automatically engaging our pelvic floor, diaphragm, transverse abdominis, all that good stuff. So we're going to start with that 360-degree breathing. I like to have my hands now. Let's all put our hands beside our hip bones, and then you're going to bring them in about an inch. So you're going to think of this low area here where your hands are. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw that area kind of in and up towards your ribs. So, but I'll tell you when. So prepare with the big inhale. Exhale out all the air. Now, don't take another breath. You have no air in you. You're going to draw this low tummy area kind of down towards your spine and up towards your rib cage. Hold there for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take an inhale. Exhale out all the air. Draw down towards your spine and up towards your ribs. So I'm going to do it now with you. I've been talking, so I haven't been able to do it, but inhaling, exhaling it all out. Draw in and up. For 3, 2, and 1. So as you're doing this, you want to keep your ribs down. Your ribs aren't, you're not arching your back. Your ribs aren't kind of lifting up. They're staying down. Let's do it 2 more times. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Last time here. For 3, 2, and 1. Oh man, the sun is in my eyes. Okay. So now we're going to take our ball, if you're using it, or you can roll up a towel or a pillow if you don't have it. But as I said, these are like $10, so they're a really good investment for lots of exercises. We're going to have the ball today kind of where your bra line is, like your sports bra. To begin, we're going to do our core engagement that we did on our first session this week. So that's where like our core is an accordion, and you're going to kind of like crunch it together without actually like moving anything, like your spine or anything. So you'll see my core like engage, but you won't see me like flexing or crunching. So we're going to prepare with that inhale. As you exhale, you're going to think pubic bone comes up towards belly button. And you're going to think bottom ribs go down towards belly button. And then release, inhale, exhale. That accordion's kind of closing, belly button's towards spine. And inhale to release. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. One more here. And I'm already getting kind of shaky because the ball does that. So now we're going to add a flexion. Hands can be down on the mat, by your side, beside your head, holding the weight of your head, whatever feels nice for you. I'm going to have my arms by my side. So we're going to take an inhale as we slightly lean back, opening our chest slightly towards the ceiling. Our accordion's like really opening. And then now as we exhale, closing that distance between pubic bone and ribs. Belly button comes in towards our spine. Inhaling to slightly open. And it's not a huge movement. Exhaling, closing our accordion. So I'm really, like my chest is kind of almost always staying lifted today. I'm not really like crunching, like closing my chest. Inhaling to open. Exhaling. For 3 more here. Last 2. And last one. So now I'm going to stay kind of in my like middle position. I'm not like crunching up, but I'm also not flexed open, kind of like how we started. We're going to add some hip folds. So we're going to, let me think about this. Take an inhale to begin. As you exhale, bringing one leg up to tabletop. Inhale to lower down. Exhaling, other leg comes up. Inhale to lower down. So again, if you don't have a ball, if you're not doing the pillow or towel, you're just lying on your back and doing this. Each time you exhale, you're tightening that core. And if you mess up the breathing, again, doesn't really matter, just as long, I mean, it does matter, but as long as you are breathing, that's what's really important. And you can always reset. Think exhale as you kind of crunch, inhale to lower, exhaling up, inhaling to lower. We're going to do one more on each side. Just make it even. Now, I'm going to add that flexion. So I'm going to have my hands actually by my sides. By your sides or down is a little bit easier than by your head. So I'm going to open as my legs are down, inhaling. As I exhale, now is when I slightly bring my chest up and my leg up. Inhaling, opening your chest, exhaling. Really make the breathing sounds. It's a good way to know that you're breathing. It's good for control. And when you purse your lips and exhale through your mouth, it's using your diaphragm, your pelvic floor in a different way to really engage them. All right, one more on each side. And last one. Carefully coming onto your side, we're going to do side planks. So you can just put your ball away to the side for a little bit. We don't need it for a few minutes. All right. So options today, same as the other day. You can have your knees stacked. You can have one leg out and still on your knee, or you can have both legs out. We're just going to do one plank on each side. We're not like here forever. So I think I will go to my feet today and I'm going to stagger them. It's a little bit easier than stacking them. Your elbow is beneath your shoulder here, and then your hand can either be slightly turned out. You can have a fist. I'm going to count us down. So in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to lift up onto our side plank here. Our hips are stacked, our shoulders are stacked, that core is engaged, and you're thinking of lifting through your bottom waist. So for me, that's my left side. And you're breathing. If you need to have a hand down at any time, you can do that. All right. Now for our last 10 seconds, we're going to pulse it out. So we're just going to lift an inch, lower an inch, lift an inch, lower an inch. Think of that bottom waist doing the work, not your shoulder. For 3, 2, and 1. Lower down with control. Don't just throw yourself on the mat. And we're going to go right to the other side. I never realized I was honestly just like throwing myself down, like dropping down until I saw clients doing that. And I was like, oh, let's not be so hard on our bodies. Okay, again, I'm going to count us down in 3, 2, and 1, lifting to that plank. And just checking that your neck is nice and long so we're not dropping our ear down. Breathing through it. All right, we're going to do our pulses in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So now we're just lifting and lowering an inch our hip. Really cinching that bottom waist. My watch keeps turning off for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down with control. Okay, so now we're going to come onto our hands and knees for some bear hovers. If this isn't great for your hands or your wrists, you can do this in forearm position. So hands are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Knees are about hip distance apart, kind of like how we started. We're going to tuck our toes, prepare, I'm gonna move this out of the way. And then prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to hover our knees, and then inhale to tap down. Exhale to hover our knees. Inhale, tap down. As we're doing this move, our back is staying in a relatively neutral position. So I have a little bit of scoliosis, so I'm making a little bit of a arch in my back, but you want to try to keep it just that natural curvature. And we're looking pretty much straight down so that our neck is nice and long. And I have not been counting here, so let's do 5 more. Last 3, and 2, and 1. Lower down. Give your hands, wrists, shoulders, all that a little break, because we're going to come back down to a plank. But this time, I'm going to go on to my forearms. If you want to still do hands, you can do that. My wrists are just a little sore from carrying the baby. Okay, so we're going to do some knee taps. So if you're like me, coming down to your forearms, you can do that. You can also be on your hands. So I'll show you hardest option first. Hardest option is in your plank, and you're going to tap one knee down, bring it back up. Tap other knee down, bring it back up. Second option is knees are both down, and then you're just bringing one up, lowering down. Bringing up other knee, lowering it down. So take whichever one you want. Always breathing. Neck is long. Core is engaged. For 10, 9, 8, 7, oh my gosh, 6, 5, 4, 3, oh my god, 2, and 1. That was hard today. Let's just sit back into child's pose for a second. Give your arms a little break. I blame my weak planks still on. I'm carrying a little bit of baby weight, so it's like, you know, I'm holding up a little bit more of my body than I was used to before. That's like, oh my god, when I was pregnant, it was so hard to like even try to do like a push or even squats and stuff, because it's like if I weigh 40 pounds more, that's already 40 pounds of load that you're pushing. Okay, I digress. I'm just biding my time before we go back to ball exercises. I'm going to sit this way this time so the sun's not in my face. And we're going to put that ball back where it was, kind of under our bra strap area, relatively centered. Let me scoot around here. Okay, so same move as before with our flexion. We're going to keep our feet down. I cannot get centered. Okay. Arms wherever you choose. Inhaling, opening up our accordion, opening up our chest. Exhaling, coming up. Inhaling, exhaling. If you're finding, and I should have said this at the beginning, but I said this in the first episode or session. If you're finding like your stomach is doming or coning, start back at basics. You need to just work on the core activations, you know, flat on the mat, and then just working on that accordion. And then maybe you work up to like baby flexion and stuff like that. And then you can join with, and then you can just do the core activation on the ball here without the flexion. Work your way up. Don't, you know, get into bad habits too of just like putting up and doing the doming or coning, because that's just, well, like inefficient, could lead to injury. And if you notice, like, yeah, your ribs are popping up, try to keep your ribs like knit together. For 3 and 2. Last one. Okay, so now I'm kind of staying up a little bit and we're going to be doing a little bit of oblique work. So you're going to kind of side bend, like you're cinching, you're bringing your bottom rib to your same hip and you're reaching to your calf or your shin. And then other side. So I like to exhale as I reach, inhale, coming back to center. Exhaling to reach, inhaling back. And we're going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a second here and just relax for a minute. Relax your body and your shoulders. You can kind of, if you like to open up and it's safe for you, you can do that. Oh, my shoulders are really feeling it today. Okay, so now what we're going to do is opposite twisting. So I'm a little too close to my reformer here. Okay, so you're going to start with your feet. Oh, I can't get centered. We're going to start with our feet on the mat. Hands, I like to do beside my head today, but you can do by your sides. And we're going to do a slight flexion, so slight opening up, well, extension to start. And then as you come up, you're going to twist. Oh my God, do you see the shakes? So you're thinking like a bottom opposite rib to hip. Opening up. Twisting. Oh, the shakes. Yeah, it was a really small study. Really think of twisting it out here. There's a small study, so the sample size was pretty small, I think, but using the ball in this type of position activates your core muscles like 400% more. And I feel it. I think I did an Instagram post on that like years ago. And you're thinking, like I said, opposite rib to hip, because that just helps with the twist more so than you thinking like elbow to knee, because then you don't really need to twist. You can just kind of twist your elbow and kind of cheat. But you really want to think of twisting your torso. And we've got 4, 3, 2. Oh my gosh, I know I'm going to feel this tomorrow. Why'd I add this one? And last one. Okay. That was fun. No, don't need the ball anymore, or towel, or whatever you're using. We're going to do a couple of classical Pilates exercises, and these are stretches as well as exercises. So the first one's called single leg stretch. You're going to bring your legs up to tabletop, and I always need to think about this one. You're going to peel up so that your bottom shoulder blades are still on the mat. I'm not flexing up too high. Your upper body's actually going to stay still in this, so you're not coming up and down. Once your body's here in this position, this is where it's going to stay. You're going to extend one leg out and hug your other leg in, kind of grabbing like below your knee, a little bit like on your calf here, or your shin. Obviously, the lower that your other leg reaches out, the harder it is. And then you're going to switch. So it's called single leg stretch because you're kind of stretching as you bring this leg in. You're stretching it and you're stretching this other leg out. And you're breathing. You are looking kind of a little bit basically at your knees. You have like a fist distance between your chin and your chest. And we've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Take a second, just hug your knees in, relax your head. We have one more move. It's pretty similar, except for instead of having our knee bent to hug it in, we're gonna have straight legs, or as straight as you can. It's really stretching the hamstrings and the calves this time. So same idea, you're gonna come up into that slight flexion. You can lift both legs up straight or as straight as you can. You're gonna lower one leg down. So your hands give you two options. You can have your hands behind your thighs each time on your hamstring as you bring it in. And you always, for these ones, I don't know, this is just Pilates, you do two little pulses. I think just like to get the stretch a little bit more. So you go 1, 2, and then you switch 1, 2. If you are very flexible and you want more of a stretch, you grab behind your calf, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, I am not very flexible, especially behind my hamstrings, but it feels good to do today and stretch it out. 1, 2, 1, 2. So again, upper body is staying relatively still. Always breathing. I don't know what, Pilates loves the 2 count. 1, 2, 1, 2, for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then just relax. Oh. If that is too much on your neck, I mean, at any time, relax your head down. You can easily just do this move with your head down, and same with the stretching one. And then slowly bring yourself up. Don't give yourself a head rush or anything. We're just gonna do some cat-cows to stretch it out. So again, coming back to our breathing, turning on, as I always say, our parasympathetic nervous system, telling our body it's time to recover. One more here. And then again, we'll do that same move we started with as well. So one hand goes on your low back and just rotating and then coming back to center, rotating. You can stick your leg out if you want. I'm just not going to for this one because we're just going to do about 2 more here. And last one, switching sides. Hand comes on your low back and opening. Think of opening your chest more so than just like bringing your arm back. And 2 more on this side. We're gonna come into a little up dog. So come to a plank. Don't worry, we're not actually doing a plank. And then, well, drop your knees down. And then you can drop all the way down. And then take your option here, whatever feels good for you. If you want to do just a little baby, little cobra, or you can come up more. You can keep your hips down, looking slightly forwards. Again, we don't want to have too much crease in our neck. Or you can press up, lifting your hips off the mat, really stretching out that stomach area. Again, taking breaths, relaxing shoulders, relax your jaw. And then just coming into child's pose. I kind of always like to sway it out. Roll your wrists. Another nice big inhale. And then exhale. So thank you for joining me for our quick little core series. We're almost at the end of the week. We have 2 more days where we'll be back with our weights, training the rest of our body. And as always, leave any comments here or on Instagram, and I hope to see you next time.